Today's video is sponsored by Bespoke Post. Is this the creamiest, smoothest, and tastiest potato I've ever had? Honestly, I think so. I got a comment on my last video asking me to try this particular recipe. This one's an Instant Pot recipe for what is essentially Syracuse boiled potatoes. Syracuse boiled potatoes are potatoes that are boiled in a lot of salt. I'm talking a lot of salt. And supposedly, it makes the potatoes taste creamier, smoother, and tastier, more buttery. But does it? So I wanted to test that theory. Are these actually creamier? Does the salt change the texture of a potato that drastic? I know a bunch of holidays are coming up and potatoes are always on the menu. This could be your chance for impressing those in-laws with a new awesome simple recipe.
So I'm gonna boil some of these potatoes in salt, tons of salt, 1 cup of salt for these. And I'm gonna boil some other potatoes with no salt. I wanna see if it makes a difference beyond just making them incredibly salty. But before we boil these potatoes, I want to try to bake some potatoes in salt. So I have 2 potatoes to do this. I'm going to cook them both at the same time, same temperature. We're going to preheat the oven for 425 degrees. I'm going to wash both of the potatoes, cover them both with a little bit of olive oil, but I'm going to place one of the potatoes directly in the iron skillet with a pinch of salt on top, kosher salt. The other potato I'm going to place in a square of foil. Now I have a bowl here where I mixed about 2 cups of kosher salt in with some pinches of rosemary. Now we're going to pour that over the other potato, completely encrusting it. I'm going to pop these in the oven and let them bake for about 45 minutes. Which is plenty of time for me to tell you about today's sponsor, Bespoke Post. Bespoke Post sent me their new Marcellin skillet from the shop, and I cannot wait to use it. The shop is a treasure trove of great gear from small brands you may not have heard of yet. And they're all committed to quality and craftsmanship. Many of these small brands are based right here in the US, and new products go up on their site every week, so there's always something new to discover. This skillet is ideal for frying, searing, building up a sauce, or like you saw me use it today, I'm baking with it. I mean, that's how versatile they are. The pre-seasoned polished cooking surface develops a rich patina over time, which keeps your food from sticking. When designing the skillet, Marcellin chose the optimal thickness for a balance of excellent heat retention and even distribution, making it built to last a lifetime. This is pre-seasoned with vegetable oil, oven safe up to 500 degrees, compatible with all kitchen heat sources, even grills and open flames. And not to mention, it's safe to use with metal utensils. No more worrying about scratching. It's the perfect gift for the chefs in your life ahead of the holidays. I know a few of my family members are gonna be getting these. I love mine. So gang, to support the channel and get your own cast iron skillet, click the link in the description below or head over to bespokepost.com/Saucestache. Bespoke Post, thanks for sponsoring today's video and for sending me these skillets. I absolutely love them.
Okay, we're back. We're just gonna wash our potatoes and fill 2 large pots with 8 cups of water each. I'm gonna fill one with 1 cup of salt and another with around a tablespoon of salt. I know I said no salt, but you need to have a little bit of salt in the water. Once the salt is dissolved, I'm just going to add the potatoes to the pot, turn the heat on, and bring them to a boil. I thought it was pretty neat that the salt water caused the potatoes to float while the lower salted potatoes just sunk to the bottom. It's also worth noting that the low salt water boiled first. This could be because of the difference in the wattage of the stovetop burners, or the thickness of the pots I used, or it could be that salting the water raises the water's boiling point. I did the math in my head and it doesn't seem to raise the boiling point that much, only by a few degrees Fahrenheit, so I don't know. Either way, once each one of these pots got boiling, I reduced the heat and set the timer for 15 minutes. Luckily, everything was done around the same time sequentially. So I drained the unsalted potatoes, returned them to their pot, drained the salted potatoes and returned them to their pot, covered them up, and then removed the baked potatoes from the oven. So I cut each one of these baked potatoes in half, topped one half with some vegan butter. I left the other half plain so we could just do some comparisons on texture. And I also did a little sideways slit in the salted potatoes so that way I could tell the difference if needed. Right off the bat, I can't tell any difference between texture and feel of these just from like cutting them open. So now that these are ready, let's see what Monica has to say about the salted baked potatoes. Did it make a difference?
Got a little piece.
Love potatoes.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of potatoes. Okay,
Cheers.
here we go. Cheers.
All right.
Okay.
It tastes like a buttered potato.
Yeah, it really does. Let's try this one.
Okay. It doesn't taste much different.
No, it really doesn't. Okay, let's go with the plain side, see if we can figure out the plain side. They're very close, I'll be honest. They really are. There's nothing, not a drastic
I'm gonna
difference.
try to figure it out though.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of a difference.
The texture I had for this was like not super soft, but was good enough. And then I just took a bite and it was like soft. That's why I said it's the same cook, right? So then, yeah, I mean, if there's any difference, this one's a little softer than this one. This one feels a little bit more undercooked.
Yeah.
They're pretty much the same.
Almost the same, yeah. So I would say, disappointingly, I really wanted these to come out.
Like totally different. But this one's just a little softer, slightly.
Yeah, it is a little softer.
But barely, like almost identical. Unless you were really like me, like trying to pick out the differences, would you know?
Yeah, okay, let's put these away. Now these, I believe, are gonna be the star of the show.
Now for both of these, I just emptied them into a bowl, covered them with a little melted vegan butter that had just a little bit of rosemary in each one. Not a huge bit of differences. The only thing that you could see that's different between the two is the salt potatoes definitely have like a nice salt skin on the outside. I thought that was kind of unique.
Cheers.
Very good.
Cheers.
These are a little different.
These are drastically different. The baked potatoes were not different. These are drastically different.
These are definitely softer than this one.
Way softer.
Yeah,
Like,
super soft.
like
very, very obviously softer.
like buttery. Like they actually, very buttery, like super buttery. Creamy and more flavorful.
Yeah, let me get another one of these real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is much more softer. Like you can tell the flavor penetrated more in the potato. Yeah, I really like this one.
Much creamier. So I'd say if you're gonna be boiling your potatoes, especially these like little like fingerling potatoes or mini potatoes, I think this Syracuse salt trick is really the key. I mean, these are truly some of the creamiest potatoes that I've ever had. I mean, super duper creamy.
Yeah.
Buttery and creamy, I mean, I love them. Baking in salt, totally not worth it. Boiling in salt, totally worth it. There we go.
Yeah.
So now we have tons of potatoes. We're bringing these to your parents.
I'm already full.
Yeah, I know. No more dinner tonight, that's it.
All right.
Yeah,
This is awesome.
there you go.